Good morning, everybody, and thank you for asking me here to speak to you today. I'm grateful because it's a very valuable opportunity for me to get out in front of you and to explain where the European Broadcasting Union is on this question, which is as important to you as it is to us. As the biggest radio member from the EBU, Radio France is a key partner. And it's great news that Sibylle was elected chair of the EBU Radio Committee in April. Sibylle is a powerful and optimistic voice who believes, as we do, that radio's future can even be greater than its past. And in a moment, I'll tell you why we think so. Sibylle, we're very much looking forward to collaborating with you further on unifying the European radio ecosystem around the priorities that you have laid out, and which are, first, ensuring radio's prominence in digital spaces, including the connected cars, re-engaging and renewing audiences, leveraging high public trust in radio to counter disinformation, and transforming production and distribution strategies. These points provide a roadmap to take audio broadcasting where our members, but also their audiences, need it to be. When EBU members, that is public service media organizations, work together with commercial operators and other adjacent actors in the space, I believe radio's prominence in our lives and in our cars has every reason to increase. Today, radio and audio content are as important for European public service media today as it was 100 years ago. And the medium of audio itself is a continuing success story. Radio continues to reach the majority of European citizens every week. In 2021, the average weekly reach of radio in Europe was 84% among all citizens, and 76% for the 15 to 24-year-olds. Europeans listen to close to 2.5 hours of broadcast radio daily, when young Europeans listen to just under an hour and a half. Radio is still the most widely consumed medium worldwide, and the strongest growing demographic for spoken word audio is to the target group 13 to 24-year-olds. What this tells us is that radio, in any guise, is highly resilient, adaptable, and important in people's daily lives. But what is about radio that keeps audiences engaged in such a crowded media environment? This question has several answers, which are born by EBU research. First, radio is innovative, yet it is 100 years old, which means it has reinvented itself more times than any other medium. Radio is a master of creating new formats that appeal to new generations without alienating the previous ones. And today, it's the very definition of radio that's reinventing itself to include all audio content today. Radio can no longer be defined as a device. It's defined by the content that can be listened to, live, on demand, or digital first, on any number of devices. Second, radio is trusted. Radio has a unique connection with audiences because it's so easy to access and doesn't demand your undivided attention. The EBU's Trust in Media Report 2022 found that radio has the greatest public trust, with most citizens trusting it more than TV, internet, social networks, or written press. Public service media are committed to honoring this fate with trustworthy, valuable content that provides the necessary counterweight to endemic disinformation. Radio, therefore, has a vital, still evolving role as a space for dialogue and helping people make sense of an increasingly complex world. And finally, radio is a lifeline. During emergencies, conflicts, and natural disasters, radio is the medium that's still standing after the rest have gone down. Radio continues to be a daily lifeline, updating a public that may be on the move about critical, fluid situations. I think here of the terrible floods in Italy this May, and of course, of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Radio is a triumph of accessibility, immediacy, and intimacy. And there's a strong public interest for protecting it and our access to it, including on connected devices. So let's look at why the EBU thinks in-car radio is so important and what we believe its direction is to need to take it to the future. This question for us is of such high priority that we have created the Connected Cars and Devices Group. This is where our members talk about challenges and opportunities, projects, strategies, and insights around in-car radio. For decades, the radio, the device, has been our trusty in-car companion. At the push of a button, drivers have enjoyed music, news, current affairs, traffic information, and so on. The in-car radio experience has always been intuitive, reliable, free, entertaining, and informative. But cars, like so much today, have become connected devices that access the internet. And with their sophisticated dashboard interfaces and large touchscreen, this really expands the possibilities of in-car media. Connected devices have revolutionized the way audiences consume media, turning the one-to-many distribution model into a direct, personalized, and interactive experience. This is a logical progression, and we welcome it. But it's a process that can't come at the expense of radio's fundamental appeal and benefits. That's why we're engaging with tech companies and car makers to ensure radio remains front and center in connected cars. The Connected Cars and Devices Group has established the EBU Connected Cars Principles, which are guide rails for our work and for our conversations with the industry. We're sharing our vision for the future of radio and public service content, and the response from car makers has been very positive. If we collaborate at a European level, we can offer automotive companies to scope and scalability as they seek it. So the connected car principles are as follows. Firstly, radio must always be easy to use. It should start with a single touch or a voice command. People love the radio's simplicity and accessibility, and we should never forget that. Secondly, radio shouldn't just be simple to find, it should be impossible to miss. Just like the old physical radio button, access to radio, whether it's AM, FM, DAB, or over the internet, should be immediately obvious. Drivers don't want to go searching for it in sub-menus behind concealed media options. We have physical Netflix and YouTube buttons on TV remotes, so let's keep a radio button on our in-car media systems. Thirdly, in-car radio should be focused and personalized. Radio has long been a trusted source of new and loved content, and connected cars have the power to make even more personalized and smart suggestions. But we need to be conspicuously transparent to our listeners about the data we collect and how we use it. This comes back to the question of public trust, our greatest responsibility, and something we must do with the power we have. Fourthly, radio comes as a package. Listeners should find public, private, local, national, and international broadcasters in one place, whatever size or profile of the broadcaster. And so, to wrap up, the EBU's radio position is clear. And the data tells us it's the right one for the consumers. Broadcast radio is innovative, trusted, and necessary. In cars, it must be easy to use, impossible to miss, focused and personalized, and packaged in one place. As I said before, the EBU wants to collaborate with the whole radio ecosystem. Let's keep working together to give radio the right level of prominence in connected cars, because it's what people want and need. The EBU and our members, we know about our media and audiences, and we're glad to tell you what we know, because it's in everyone's interest that we do so. Thank you.